And we say we're going to combat China through this bill, but we're going to combat China by increasing a department of government, the National Science Foundation, that is actually probably one of the most wasteful agencies in government. William Proxmire was a conservative Democrat from Wisconsin back in the 60s and 70s. He started an award called the Golden Fleece Award. One of the first awards he gave
Order in the chamber, please.
One of the first awards that William Proxmire gave, the Golden Fleece Award, was an award for a study about what makes people fall in love. You'd think with the lampooning through the years, the ridiculous lizards on treadmills of Panamanian frogs, that after a while people would say, instead of giving this agency that is so full of waste and ridiculous studies, maybe instead of giving them more money, we should give them less money. So perhaps if we wanted them to reform, we would say to the National Science Foundation, instead of increasing your budget 68%, why don't we reduce their budget 10% and say behave better? Why don't we reform how they pick their committees? So for example, if you want to study—
You need order in the chamber.
If you want to study cocaine and you want to study Japanese quail using cocaine and you want to know if they're more sexually promiscuous, do you know how you get approval for your funding? You call up your other buddies that study cocaine in animals and you say, hey, I've got this great new study. Would you guys like to join in it and be my peer review committee? So it's actually the ridiculous studies that we discover, they're being voted on by people who are selected by the people doing the studies. So what they do is they select other people with ridiculous studies and they say, we'll vote for yours if you vote for mine. So how do we get, $500,000 spent studying Panamanian frogs? They want to know whether or not the mating call of the country frogs in Panama is different than the mating calls of the city frogs. Well, coming from a rural state, I can tell you the mating calls of the country folk is always different than the city folk. We could have polled the audience. Are quail more sexually promiscuous on cocaine? I think we could have polled the audience. So the thing is, there could be some reforms. So for example, as much as I'm opposed to government spending, there are some important diseases, let's say Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. Why wouldn't we make the committees for the National Science Foundation, why wouldn't we make the committees have someone on there from one of the big 5 diseases?